Hey guys, I'm Eric with Retro Rides, and I'm here with David of the 80s Garage. David's gonna show us around here. He's got a ton of stuff, cool stuff, things I like, BMX, skateboards, toys, you name it. If you're into 80s stuff, David's got you covered.
Yeah, welcome to the collection and hope you enjoy. Vintage Mongoose.
Yeah.
So we built it like the Crew Jones bike. I sourced the badge, the Mongoose 85 California badge from Australia.
That's crazy.
And then there's a 30 and 40th anniversary ET Kuwaharas. A lot of these are from Porsches, the Hot Rods, the DeLorean.
Yeah, I remember the Speedster, the gray colored one, right?
Yeah, it was Nardo gray with orange interior, and Leno's shop did the interior for me.
Oh, really?
So the shop that he deals with did all the custom diamond stitching. And then we got the rad cabinet. This is all the BMX pads and rad memorabilia. All those cards, my buddy Matt made those cards, and we sent those to all of the people who were in the movie Rad, the riders, the actors, actresses, and they're all hand signed. It's kind of a neat collection of random 80s.
Yeah,
and then we go here to arcade games.
VHS tape.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are all basically emulator games. It's kind of fun. They're super lightweight. They're easy to handle. They play just like the old ones. Some people argue the action's different, or the buttons feel different, but to the average person, it's just fun.
The carpet's perfect.
The carpet's perfect, blacklight sensitive, kind of a fun.
Little Moto Mags.
Those are brand new.
Are they reproductions?
They just released the brand new Moto Mags. Those are Moto Mag 3s.
Without all the cleaning you have to do to get those
and
things
they're
nice.
they're done for freewheel, which is nice. You don't have to worry about
coaster.
the coaster brake. Then we go to 80s toys, He-Man, Transformers, Boglins, Muscle Men. Obviously the GI Joe aircraft carrier, which was a pickup here in 2020.
Yeah.
It was the biggest toy, biggest play set ever made. So it's kind of a fun thing. My best friend had one growing up. My parents couldn't afford it and didn't have the room. So
what do you do with this thing?
I know,
as a
right?
Kid, is it supposed to float?
It doesn't float, but it's just supposed to be just a static display. But when we move, we're gonna end up doing LED on the runway and really do it up, make it something special.
Yeah, it can't be too many of these out there.
They're not. You know, I picked this one up for $700 in Grants Pass in 2020.
Semi-local and
yeah, and they typically hit between $1,500 and up. You know, if you can find them in the box, there's $7 to $10 grand now.
I can't even believe something like this would even survive all the years.
I know, and that's the thing. There's always broken parts, and you know, people are 3D printing parts now because it's hard to find.
There are so many toys here that I remember as a kid growing up. And I mean,
what year were you born?
At 80.
Okay, yeah, so you're right there. And then obviously, you know, all of us in that age group started off with Star Wars, GI Joe, then moved to baseball cards and RC cars. There's something from our childhood, you know, there's something for everybody in here.
Yeah, the Ghostbuster stuff, we had a bunch of that, and then I saw some He-Man. You had the Castle Grayskull hiding up in the corner there. Even old Teddy down here.
Yep.
You know, but some of these, like the squeeze toys there, and these guys here are
Mad Balls.
Mad Balls, that's right.
And then I've got a big 80s skateboard collection. Most of these are reissues. I had 150 decks on the whole back wall.
Yeah.
And they started getting such ridiculous
out of control
prices. I mean, I was selling decks, you know, anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500 a deck.
Yeah.
So for me, it was the style and the look of my childhood that I was going for. I grew up
colors, the shape, all
the
that.
color, the shape, the design, the art. So for me, having a reissue or an OG means nothing, because for me, it's just, you know, people come in and say, "Oh my gosh, I had that Tony Hawk, I had that Tommy Guerrero." So it's like, you know, it's pure nostalgia.
DeLorean's killer. Is that all stainless exhaust on that thing?
Yeah, it was stainless steel frame. So it spent 3 years in Texas in DeLorean, in Hummel, Texas, and they put the stainless steel frame, they put the Stage 2 on it. It was a really clean car. I actually posted on Instagram today a picture of it. Yeah, I kind of miss it sometimes. You know, I sold it for like $50,000. Now they're getting $80,000, and I'm like, oh, I spent 80 grand on that. It's like not worth it to me. You know, it's a great car. I love them, but I just don't see the value. And now I'm back with another Miata.
Yeah, there's a clean one at that.
Yeah, so I've been looking for a Miata for quite a few years, and they're just getting stupid money now. The $3,000 Miata days are gone.
You rotate out a bunch of cars, what's next?
I don't know. I'd probably get another GTI or something, a little hot hatch, another AMG, maybe a 59 Chevy from you, you know. You still have that thing anymore?
No, I don't have that anymore either.
That was awesome
You
car.
rotate through them a little bit. I can just sit here and stare at stuff forever.
Yeah, and then obviously this is like stuff that we've packed up already, but when we had the garage set up with cars, the kids would sit in the cars and decide what car they wanted to sit in and watch a movie. We had the window trays, the old driving window trays, and we just sit out here, and it's hooked up to Apple TV, so there's like 700 movies on there.
That's awesome.
And they can watch whatever they want.
I actually met Dave at a rad screening, right? At
McMinimans,
McMinimans.
yeah.
And then gone to several rad ones here in between. And
Always bump into you.
yeah, and so you're part of that page, or that's yours?
Yeah,
your page,
Rad the Movie Collection is our page on Facebook. And Jeremy Mosier, he was in Rad, I believe his mom worked for Vans, but he's the one who kind of got me into Rad. Him and my buddy Matt, like a lot of this stuff is from Jeremy, like a lot of random weirdness. I have Jeremy's press kit, original Rad press kit.
Where's that at?
So I'll have to get that out for you. It's actually really neat. So Jeremy still held on to a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
The press kit is awesome. It's probably one of my favorite Rad items. That and the beers from Alasta Brewing.
I know, I tried to get my hands on those too at one point, and they were impossible to get. I'm always a little late to the game when that
So this is the Rad press kit. I'll take it over here to the table. So this was the original press release from Rad. So it came basically, this is some of the script, just showing people, you know, what it's gonna be. And then it came with these super rare, these are really hard to find. These are all original, the stickers that were released with the press kit. And these are impossible to find.
Yeah.
And then it came with the photos. These are all the original photos. Lori and Bart.
Over the log pile.
Jose Yanit's doing the crew, doing the backflip. But it's kind of neat to have a complete, you know, press kit from Rad. A lot of people haven't seen that.
That's incredible.
So it's pretty rare.
Yeah, that was such a motivational movie growing up. I watched that thing so many times between that and Gleaming the Cube.
Gleaming the Cube was the one for us, and BMX Bandits too. For whatever reason, it was always on HBO as a kid, so we always ended up watching it. And another random one is North Shore.
I don't remember.
That was a surfing movie with Laird Hamilton and Jerry Lopez, but Jerry Lopez actually lives in Bend now.
Oh, really?
So he builds and shapes a lot of his decks here in Bend. He surfs at the Whitewater Park like every Sunday morning.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of wild. Yeah.
Yeah, just a crazy collection.
I'm glad you guys got to come out and take a look before it gets torn down and moved.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, but yeah, skateboard stuff was definitely, between that and BMX, were a huge part of my childhood. So we didn't have a bunch of these toys, but
and then
good handful
the
of them.
decks over there are all signed in the shadow boxes. Special one is the Dagger, the Tommy Guerrero.
yeah.
So
He comes to town here fairly often.
he does.
You got Mike V,
True.
I know he's been to town.
Vallely's a cool dude.
Yeah.
So he does the Street Plant, kind of his home brand. And Cab is another one. He's really good about signing stuff and, you know, just super nice guy.
Always on the hunt. It's hard to beat those 80s graphics. I mean, the vision boards there, you know, they're, say what you will about old Gator, but I mean, it's the most iconic
It
graphic.
really is, yeah. I mean, that's funny because that's the first, oh, he's a murderer. I'm like, yeah, I know. But the deck is what I remember. I don't remember, you know, the politics of the 80s. I remember going in the skate shop and being like, I want that, you know?
I got a natural Gator, and because I remember one of the kids I skated with in the 80s, he had one. He bought it brand new, and I was just like, that was the coolest thing, and it always stuck with me. And
Yeah.
there's a few of those. A friend of mine had the Ripper, you know, and then a red Flayley, and I don't know, they're all cool. Steve Size was a huge inspiration to me too. you know, his mini ramp stuff back in the day.
Dude, he was epic.
Yeah, pretty wild though to see it. You know, it's good that you're a caretaker for it. You know, get it all in one place so people can appreciate it.
You have any questions?
I just keep seeing stuff and keep wandering over to it. So
that's what it's about.
Yeah. So you probably get a fair amount of people coming through here though.
Yeah, you know, 2020 was kind of rough.
So Dave, what's your Instagram page?
The 80s Garage. It's 80_garage. 80s.
Pretty happening page.
It's I just hit 40,000 followers.
Good for you.
So it's
That's
kind of
awesome.
fun. Yeah, it's got some great followers, and there's been quite a few people who've donated to the collection.
That's cool.
So they've been like, oh, I have this childhood toy and I don't have anywhere for it. It would be awesome to display it in your collection. And I have quite a few toys from people who've come by or mailed me their childhood toys, which is really special.
So what's your favorite thing in here?
You know, it's weak to say the USS flag, but the flag
that's
is
a good one.
It's a good one, and it's one of those things that I just always wanted it, and I never got it as a kid. So
Yeah.
for me to have it now is pretty huge.
You know, to have that as a kid, I mean, I can't even fathom, but it's
$119 in 1985.
It's a big
big
chunk
chunk
of
of
change
change,
right
yeah.
there. Not only that, but it's like you need a pickup truck to haul it.
Yeah, but probably my favorite piece in the collection is a prototype Star Wars figure that I have upstairs.
Yeah.
So it's a Noi Nub. The Lando's co-pilot kind of had that weird thing in Jedi, and I have the prototype to that figure, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity. It's been graded, and it's signed by the actor who portrayed him in the movie, who was hand signed. So that's probably my favorite piece. But they all hold special memories.
Absolutely.
So I remember
Every one of these were something that you needed to
Yeah.
get, and you got it, and you're like, all right, what's next?
We do RC cars, we do RC boats, I do knives. I mean, it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, the Walkman, those Memorex tapes bring me back to
Yep.
just staring at those things and making mixes.
And it kills a lot of my followers, but that Sony Walkman was mint in the package, in the clamshell.
Yeah.
And I cut it open, but it's for me I would rather have a mint example for me and
Yeah.
me open it and be the first one to touch it, so I know that it's mint. But that Walkman, this one right here was mint in the package. So the Sony Walkman. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it just keeps going. That's pretty cool, man. I do like what you've done with this place and your collection. So how long you been collecting for, I guess?
Since middle school.
Middle school, and what'd
Yeah.
you start collecting?
You know, it kind of started with Star Wars, and in middle school, I started buying up collections from people who always needed money. You always
Yeah.
got that kid at school, hey, you got $1, you got $2, you know?
You saw the value in their collection. And
Yeah, and a lot of the guys were buying weed and beer, and I wasn't into that, so they were always hard up for money, and I'm like, hey, what do you got? I'll buy some stuff from you. And I'd go over to their house, and it was all sketch, and
Yeah.
I'd be walking out with boxes of Star Wars
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So they were happy. They had a good Friday night, and I had a good middle school.
Yeah.
So, you know, I kind of started out doing that. But the collection grows all the time. But I don't have a storage facility.
Yeah.
Like I don't buy something unless I know where I'm going to
Yeah.
put it, which
Yeah.
keeps me from
I
hoarding.
see a lot of blank space up here.
Yeah, just to keep it classy, you know, the golf wall.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had a 71 911, and golf was a primary sponsor at that time, so I went with the golf theme. I got picked up, there's a couple signs I picked up from Barrett Jackson. That dollar for dollar Pontiac sign is super rare. That was a Barrett Jackson pickup in the corner.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
But yeah, so there's been some, you know, random things that I've picked up here and there. The registered restroom Texaco was a Barrett Jackson. So was the self-serve island. So a lot of the stuff I just picked up over the years.
Now, you posted something, Red Dawn. Is that you, right?
Yeah.
The jacket, Wolverine's jacket?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I had that custom made.
It's one of my favorites as well, that movie. And
That got me into AKs.
Yeah.
I'm like an AK collector now, and among other things. But
Right.
you know, it's like it just doesn't stop.
yeah,
So Red Dawn was one of those classic.
there's really no end to it.
No. So, and actually all the posters that you see on the wall, the He-Man, the Red Dawn, the Romancing the Stone, they're all windows. But I put the posters, the 36 by, I forget what the size is, 40 by 36, I think, something like that. 41 by 36, they fit right in the window. So it keeps all the light out because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you don't
everything
fade and everything.
hates UV. But then I go to Hot Wheels, obviously. My first love is JDM. The Hot Wheels have become an addictive collection too. I just can't stop. Every time I go to the store, I'm just looking like a weirdo
I
rifling
almost
through Hot Wheels.
invited a friend of mine, you know, Chris Fink. He's pretty into that stuff too, but just
This is my baby right here. That's like a $400 Hot Wheel. That's the Gucci Cadillac. This is for you. There's a bunch of swag in there,
way.
like
That's
stickers and keychains and all kinds of fun stuff from the 80s garage for you guys.
That's awesome.
There's like some magnets and some coasters. So,
I didn't bring you anything cool.
well, you know, you're taking something cool though.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome.
yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap.